The 1960s, a decade of massive change and turmoil. Out of the fires of struggle, the community development organization Pratt Area Community Council was formed. Community members from Fort Greene, Clinton Hill, and the Wallabout community tackled the disinvestment of predominantly minority neighborhoods. Although the neighborhoods boasted beautiful historic architecture, families were abandoned, living in dilapidated, overcrowded housing, while the city razed neighborhoods blocked under urban renewal and eminent domain. Masses of vulnerable people were being displaced, and local businesses were shutting their doors. Much of this disinvestment was caused by redlining policies. By the early 70s, 25 to 30% of homes and buildings were vacant and boarded up. The then Pratt Area Community Council doubled down on its mission, purchasing, renovating, and creating new home ownership and rental properties to help families to have safe, affordable, quality housing. The organization will later become IMPACCT Brooklyn, establishing itself as a trusted pillar in the community. But there was much more work to be done.
We have been together for
52 years. We are living here 10 years, and we have seen lots of changes. I mean, complete gentrification, new buildings.
We've moved here to Vanderbilt Avenue in '95. We were lucky enough to get our home. 6 months later, we wouldn't have been able to afford it.
During the COVID, I had to close because the governor said to close. So we had to close for like 3 months.
Our projections were more than what we were actually making in the midst of COVID.
Prior to living here, I had done incarcerated bids, drug issues, and issues in general with responsibility.
There's so many people who have been forced out of the neighborhood because of so many reasons. But it's sad to see those who have grown up in the neighborhood who can no longer afford to live here.
IMPACCT Brooklyn advocated to have banks collaborate and finance projects. We pressed for provision of tax benefits to help nonprofit developers renovate, while redlining further disenfranchised neighborhoods. IMPACCT Brooklyn was at the forefront, providing anti-foreclosure services and first-time homebuyer assistance. When small businesses on commercial corridors shut their doors, IMPACCT Brooklyn rolled up the gates for economic revitalization and improvement.
I participated in Project Impact, a class to help small businesses. What I learned in that class were some business techniques, marketing, and also strategy.
When I came in as assisted living, they had a lot of one-on-one where you have a counselor that comes to the door and literally by the hand assists you. And you get to tell them where you're having problems at, where you need help with, and they do anything and all of that.
The funds that we received help with rent, it helped with utility bills, it also helped us with the payroll. We brought back quite a few members of the staff. It sort of also, I would say, gave us like a head start because we didn't have to worry about making the monies to be able to fund like the rents and some utilities. So it definitely helped in that aspect.
It was therapeutic. If it wasn't for them programs, to be honest with you, I'd have been picked up a drink again.
Over the decades, IMPACCT Brooklyn provided a positive form of community activism, which helped open Clinton Hill Library, refurbish Kyla Gore, Underwood Parks, and support community gardening on Myrtle Avenue. By the 90s, redlining forces became full-fledged gentrification, as the neighborhood's great locations, transportation access, and historic architecture attracted new residents from around the country and the world with significantly higher incomes, deepening the economic divide.
We moved here when Brooklyn was just Brooklyn. Now it's Brooklyn, but thank God for PACT.
In a city full of complaints about rising costs, the rent is going up too.
The Rent Guidelines Board voting tonight for an increase at rent-stabilized apartments effective in the fall. As CBS 2's Alicia Reed reports, tensions were high and things never calmed down.
As of today, IMPACCT Brooklyn is responsible for over 1,100 truly affordable housing developments. We've saved hundreds of homes from foreclosure, saved thousands of residents from unlawful eviction, and assisted entrepreneurs and small businesses to thrive, providing affordable services to their community. We provided workshops on financial education to teach residents how to better manage finances, credit, and navigate the city's housing lottery process. For those exiting chronic homelessness, we developed permanent income-targeted and supportive housing to restore the sense of living with dignity and civic engagement. We provide shelter for our most vulnerable citizens with supportive housing in Navy Green, Gibb Mansion, and soon-to-be open new housing at 811 Lexington Avenue, targeting low to moderate income seniors. And finally, new construction going up at 778 Myrtle Avenue to again provide for low to moderate income residents. IMPACCT Brooklyn has embraced a vision in which people can strive together to build a more suitable, diverse, flourishing community where we all can thrive and stay.
All right, let's do it. If I didn't have Y, and if I didn't have Gibb Mansion, at that time, probably I was just say around, 51 years old. I probably wouldn't even got to see 55.
Were it not for IMPACCT Brooklyn providing us this affordable apartment, we would not have been able to live in New York City.
Happy 60th birthday, and I encourage all small businesses to participate in that plan.
And thank you, IMPACCT Brooklyn, for helping us staying in the business and neighborhood.
Thank you, IMPACCT Brooklyn.
No one understands. When you're a small business, you're living day to day, you don't understand what it's like to have a small business. To be early morning, I'm in the salon at 6:30, 7 o'clock on Saturdays, and I leave like 8 o'clock at night. No one understands, especially a black business. You gotta keep on pedaling and keep on pedaling. You gotta juggle like 5 different balls up in the air to know that, and it's hard. You're not getting the funding you need. Thank God that IMPACCT Brooklyn stepped in and gave me that funding, because we would have been further in debt than we are.